We are here today with the one, the only, Stef Nienaltowski. Did I say that?
Pretty good.
I did.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And there is absolutely no way that you don't know who this man is. How you doing, Stef?
I'm very well, thank you, and a happy new year to you.
Yeah, happy new year to you,
yeah.
the man, the myth, the
Oh,
legend.
don't know about that.
I'm like, when I was thinking about how to introduce you, there are just so many different ways that you could be introduced.
Thank you.
Because you're just a force and a power. And yeah, I mean, the things, I know we're going to go into it and we'll get there, but on the outset, like the things you have done for this city and me as an individual, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point, are just astounding.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's an absolute privilege to be able to cement part of your story in our little Pompey history book. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And honestly, when I left Shaping Portsmouth a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, would you believe?
Is that long?
I know how quickly time goes. I generally meant what I said. I arrived here as a 19-year-old. Although I was born in London, I was made in Pompey.
Yeah, you've always said that.
Yeah.
Always said that. I love that.
Yeah, I have, because it's given me everything.
Yeah.
You know, few things it didn't give me because I did it in the first 19 years of my life. But for most of my life, this has been my city.
And it's interesting because I think that when you decided to hand over the reins at Shaping Portsmouth to somebody else, there was a part of me, and I think probably a lot of people in Portsmouth, who thought, right, he's going to chill now. He's he's done his bit, more than done his bit. He's handing over the reins. He's going to have a nice cup of tea with Liz, travel the world, put his feet up. But that's absolutely not happened. That innate desire of just, and I think that you're one of those rare humans. I said, I meet quite regularly with he was the chief, I want to say like chief inspector or Met detective at the Met Police, Clive Driscoll. He was the guy that cracked the Stephen Lawrence case.
Right, okay.
And I was with him recently, and he's similar age to you. And I said to him, Clive, they just don't make them like you anymore. And that's how I feel about you, and how I've always felt about you. Like you're the ultimate gentleman. You know, you say the right things, you do the right things, and you're also definitely a man of your word. Where does that grafting and being that type of gentleman, where does that stem from?
Different places.
Yeah.
The hard work, the driven nature, the sort of honesty and integrity has come from my father. Right. So I'll tell you a bit more about him later. The kind of politeness and that, I think it's just come through, my maturity. Yeah. I was a very immature, really, up until sort of mid-20s.
Really?
Yeah, I got married very young, first time around, and I was not yet emotionally ready to get married, but it seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't regret that at all. I've got 3 fantastic children from that. But if you were to wind the clock back, when you're 20 years of age and you've been in the city just 2 years and you've met the lady 18 months earlier, it all, you can sort of look back and
it's
go,
unheard of now.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
People
yeah,
just don't do that now.
No, exactly. So no, I matured later in life, maybe late 20s, early 30s, and I just built on that. And then my second role model came along, the first one being my dad, which is my wife Liz.
Yeah.
And Liz, how gift giving she is.
Yeah.
You know how loving she is and caring she is.
Heart there is.
A biggest heart there is. And when you live with someone 24/7, you think that's how I want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be really this corporate guy who's just interested in the salary check and what shares can I get from the company or what pay rise.
It's boring, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So my father and my wife Liz, definitely my 2 biggest role models.
So did you grow up with your mum and your dad?
No, so dad was born in Poland.
Right.
He went in 1939 to fight the Germans in the Second World War.
Wow.
Got imprisoned because Poland were overrun quite quickly. Was released by the Germans because they were running out of food, and he walked towards the Russian front. They put him in an open prison. They didn't know what to do with him. he got out of there, went to the Mediterranean, got a boat to North Africa, joined the British Army in North Africa,
Wow.
and then fought the rest of the war for the British Army.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, indeed, never giving up, you see.
Wow.
And then he came back to England. His family were completely wiped out in Poland and was given the chance to be naturalised.
Right.
Moved to London,
Right.
Stepney. And this might not surprise you. When he went to get his wages on a Thursday at the factory, there was a young pretty girl called Josephine. He used to chat her up. Don't know where I get that from. Anyway, Josephine and Joseph got married, had two boys, me and my brother.
Oh, wow.
Sadly, when I was 8, my mum decided that my father was too old for her. He was about 19 years older than my mum, and she was still wanted to go out and party, and he was a sort of pipe and slippers guy.
Yeah.
So she left, and my dad brought me and my brother up.
Wow, I did not know this about you.
Yeah, indeed. And social services came because he was a Polish man, couldn't speak much English, and they tried to take us away from Dad.
Wow.
And Dad said, no, my boys are staying with me.
Yeah.
And I happened to be in the room with the door open, listening to this conversation at the front door of my house.
Do you remember that like it was yesterday?
I do, and I was 8 years of age, and that was 62 years ago.
Wow.
You know, and
was your brother older or younger?
2 years older. Joe is. He's 72 now. And the tension in the house was palpable because Joe and my mother were very close, and me and my dad were very close.
Right. So it was like a
split. So Joe felt very isolated then,
right,
because his kind of power base had gone. Not that I understood any of that at 8,
course,
but I just remember Dad saying the words were, "My boys stay with me." Whereas in a heartbeat, at 51, 52 years of age, then he could went, you know what?
Yeah.
Take him.
So your mum left and didn't come back, or did she?
Oh, she came back once.
Or really?
So she left in the August, and she actually eloped, or whatever the term is, with her boss at work. And she came back Christmas Day and knocked on the door and handed me and my brother 2 presents, one each.
Like ticking it off her list.
Yeah, turned it round, walked away, and I've never seen her since.
Was she maternal before that?
I can't really remember. No. Do you know what I mean? When you're 8 years of age, it's you have these. And you know what your mind is like? Your mind locks away things it doesn't want to deal with anymore. Yeah. All I know is the love I had for my father. Yeah. And my brother did as well. And he worked himself into the ground to the point where he had heart attacks, strokes, you know. But I saw him 5.5 days a week going to the factory, working, coming home, cooking, cleaning, putting not a washing machine, but it was a boiler, putting the clothes in the boiler, ironing. Yeah, you know, doing the pack lunch for the morning.
So to you, sort of grafting a 9 to 5 is nothing, because you've seen a man do all of the above. Yeah. Did he ever meet anyone else?
So again, if we've got time, this is a lovely story. So I get to the age of 13, 14. Mum's obviously been gone some years, divorce and all that. And friends of mine said, "Why don't you come to our youth club on a Friday night?" And he said, "It's at the Baptist church, but you don't have to be religious." And so I think it was 14. And the lady who opened and served the drinks and closed up was a lovely lady called Edna, who was, single lady, never married. And cheeky old Steph said, "I tell you what, why don't you come round and have a cup of tea with my dad?"
That's so cute.
I know. So about adorable. 5 years later, they got married.
No, oh my God, that's so adorable.
And they were married for the rest of Dad's life. And his dad died when he was 75. Oh. And he had a golden last 10, 15 years of his life. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
I know. So,
what a story.
I know.
And did you get on well with her?
Yeah, Edna was great. I mean, she was a typical Baptist, kind of religious person, heart of gold, very naive to the outside world, never been in a pub.
Wow.
So Dad took her in and bought her first sherry.
Oh wow. Living it up.
Yeah, I know. So they had a lovely life together, and will always be. Edna died some years after my father. Yeah. But she gave Dad a brilliant last 15 or so years. He deserved that, mind.
Did you manage to build like some kind of maternal relationship with her?
Not maternal, it was quite respectful, quite mature by then, quite practical. But I didn't call her mum because she didn't want to be called mum. She was Edna to me, and whatever.
And
but it's brilliant.
I love that. Did your mum go on to get, like your birth mum, did she go on to get remarried?
Don't know.
Really? Nothing?
Yeah, honestly, I honestly.
So you could have like brothers and sisters out there, and
I could do.
You don't know.
I've no idea.
But you'd have no desire to.
No. My father. The day Mum left, it was a Saturday morning, and Dad was at work at 8 till 12. And Joe and I were at the front gate, looking over the front gate down the road where Dad would walk up from. And Dad stopped about 100 yards from us, and he sort of looked at us, and he walked up and he said, "Your mum's gone, hasn't she?"
Oh, wow.
And of course we didn't. He knew what was going on, but we didn't.
Yeah.
And he literally rolled his sleeves up and said, "Don't worry, boys, we'll be fine."
Oh, don't. Oh my God, Stef. What a legend.
I know, he was.
What an absolute legend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
Love him to bits. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should.
I know.
What a man.
So, and he fills my heart. He fills my head still. You know, as and I always have tried to do
right.
Yeah, because I know how proud he was. And when I used to work for a big corporate company in a big building in Chiswick, and you had your ID badge, he sometimes would come and meet me at the end of the day, and you could just see the pride in his face.
I bet.
Indeed. And hence why the name Nienaltowski, I've never shied away from it. I'm very proud of it, and I will be proud of it until the day I die.
So you should be. I adore that. I adore that. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. And I've always known that, you know, you come from humble beginnings, and, you know, especially with your career as well, that you started at the bottom and worked your way up. But it actually is taken my breath away a little bit.
One more last story.
Never knew that.
Thursday night at senior school, we played basketball. So senior school was a bus ride away, Chiswick Grammar School. And Ian King, my buddy, used to live just the other side of us. So he called for me, went to the bus stop and went round. Thursday night, he called for me. Dad was at home. I had my tea, and I said to Dad, we're going to the fish and chip shop after basketball. Can I have some money for fish and chips? And he went, "No, son, there's plenty of food here." I said, "No, but we're all going to the fish and chip shop, Dad." It was Thursday, remember? And Ian King standing there looking a little bit awkward,
you know. Payday type thing.
Of course. And stupid 13-year-old didn't know that Dad didn't have a cent to give me. You know, so but you learn.
Did you just eat from the house?
Or, yeah, indeed.
Oh,
but you learn, don't you?
But it sounds like one of those situations where if he did have a couple of quid in his pocket and it was his last couple of quid, he would have given it to you without a shadow of a doubt.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. You know, he gave us everything.
Did that? I mean, it sounds like despite your mum leaving, you built confidence and you had stability and all of that, you know, down to your dad, which is phenomenal. And you mentioned that you got married quite young and you had 3 children. And I mean, from the day I met you, you've always raved about your 3 children and everything. And then a bit later down the line, you obviously met Liz, who is younger than you.
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Did the insecurities of your childhood ever play into your relationship with Liz, knowing that your mum left your dad and there was an age difference?
No, there was a time when I left the marital home where I felt guilty that this is deja vu.
Yeah.
But as I said to everybody, I left my wife, not my children.
Yeah.
And I was determined. And people will, you know, on that side of the family will still criticize me, and quite rightly, they've got their opinions and they should do. But I left the marital home on a Sunday, and on Wednesday I was back picking the children up.
Yeah.
And had them Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday night, or Wednesday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And the testament is that after, crikey, 38 years on, my 3 first children, you know, still see me very regularly.
Yeah.
And I was determined that I wasn't going to give them that life that I sort of witnessed,
had experienced,
you know,
in that kind of emptiness. And no matter how great your dad, your dad is and was for you growing up, you know, it's hard to ever replace that kind of, whether you acknowledge it or not. And I'm sure that there's been times in your life where you've had to acknowledge it and face it head on, and other times where you're just like, it is what it is, you know, otherwise you never get anything done, right? But I'm just breaking that generational curse type thing. And then you met Liz. So the powerhouse that is Liz, the absolute legend. And I know that at this point you didn't think, and I know this, and I hope you don't mind me saying, but I know that when you met Liz, you didn't think that you were going to have any more children, right?
No.
You'd already done the snip.
Yeah, I know. Medically,
TMI, but
medically I couldn't.
But Liz comes into your life, and you're like, what a powerhouse of a human.
Yeah.
And yes, we're going to reverse that snip, snip, snip.
We are.
We're gonna go full throttle ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
And along comes Gemma.
Along comes Gemma 28 years ago.
Yeah.
1997. And yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a religious man.
Yeah.
So you often use the word, sort of thank God for that or thank God for that. But yeah, I mean, look, medically it was a procedure that wasn't rocket science, but equally it was no guarantee of success. And
it was meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you meet Liz?
We met at work.
Did you?
Yeah, so we both worked with the same corporate company, and and it was like 2,000 people in the building. So
were you at IBM?
IBM, in North Harbour.
So you started at IBM really young, didn't you?
16.
So were you in London still?
Yeah, in Chiswick. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was at Chiswick, and I was in the post room and the print room.
That was
and the story goes that if your annual salary was under £2,000 a year,
that's mad,
right?
Isn't it? In my head, registered that as a month.
Yeah, no,
and then I could tell by the way you just looked in my eye.
I know, yeah.
No, I mean a year.
Yeah. You got lunch vouchers to help you pay for your lunch in the canteen.
Oh God, I wish I'd do that now.
All right.
For the youngsters.
Yeah, I know. Well, so the proudest moment of me is when after about a year and a bit, and I got a pay rise, I walked up the canteen with my tray, my lunch and my drink, and the lady at the till said, and lunch and vouchers, Stef? I went, I don't have any lunch and vouchers.
Because my salary's above £2,000.
Yeah, I know. Stupid, isn't it?
Winning.
I know.
Yeah, but it's little things, isn't it?
It is. And the bookends bit of this says, I started on £972 a year, annual salary. And I was in the post room and the print room. And I left IBM in 2010 as the country operations manager with 214 people working for me through 14 managers. And I was responsible for forecasting a $5 billion business.
That is mad. That is absolutely like crazy.
I know.
And did you do like qualifications or anything?
No.
Was it just that old school way of like, you know what you know, and if you say you can do, because I think we lost that a little bit in corporate, right? Is that you have to have certificates and bits of paper, and you can't go on to the next step until you've done this. And it's like, and often, no disrespect to qualification, because people need them, whatever. But it's like Leah in her role as marketing director at Politely. She's done her level 3 digital marketing apprenticeship, and I often will say to her, "Do you want to do another certificate? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that?" And she's like, I know more than what that certificate can teach me. And I can imagine it's going to be like that in operations. You have to know people. And I'm sure be able to work your way around a sexy spreadsheet. But the transitions you must have seen throughout your career, like even in technology.
Oh yeah, huge. I mean, 1972 right to 2010. 38-year span at IBM. So no, I left school with literally 2 O levels and 1 GCSE. I didn't do A levels. I went to work, at 16. I've never taken a professional exam in my life. Now,
but you're probably the smartest man I know.
I don't think that.
No joke. I'm not blowing smoke. That is no joke.
No, that's very kind.
I'm sure there are many people that would agree with me.
But equally, there's things I can't do. So I can't produce a balance sheet.
Yeah, but that's what Lee's for.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, indeed. But and obviously, there's things technically. I mean, computer, I work my way around. But some stuff I'm lost at. But equally, I have other strengths around, financial strengths, business acumen. I hope relationship building, team building, empathy, sympathy, but leadership as well. And you kind of, don't you pick, as you've gone through your successful career, you look at bits and go, do you know what? I'll take that bit of her or that bit of him, but actually it comes from within you. You can add bits to it, and that's what it's been. I mean, I've just I've got to 70, and I've just had the most amazing life, and I still have an amazing life, and there's a lot more to come.
You probably feel like you've slowed down.
Yeah, definitely.
But for the average, you just turned 70, right?
Yeah, last July. Yeah.
So for the average 70-year-old, I mean, you've definitely not slowed down. I'm now picturing other 70-year-olds that I know in my head, and there's just no comparison at all. And I think that the biggest thing I learned from you, because I know we started working together early in my corporate career, and you were definitely, one of my first. Well, you were my first role model within the corporate landscape. And the biggest thing that I learned from you was, what's the problem? What's the solution? If there's a problem, there will be a solution. 99.9% of the time. And, you know, pick and choose how you get there, but you can get there. And I think that that's, you know, one of the most magical ways actually that you can look at anything in life: parenting, marriage, you know, working life,
DIY, whatever it might be.
What's the problem? Get to the solution.
Exactly.
Don't create your own barriers.
No, and I learned quite early that in my life, my working life, you tend not to be able to do things on your own. You need to partner with some people or somebody or whatever. And you're right. I left IBM in 2010. Got a job for a year as an operations director for a startup company.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, Virtue Stream. And that kind of, I was a bit frying pan fire. And I was wanting to cut my hours down, and my hours went up significantly. And then I got a job in North Harbour with a very small company, you know, called Integrity. And that gave me the chance to join Shaping as a volunteer. And that's the Business and Enterprise Group.
I remember you then, oh my God, the flashbacks, because then I remember you then turning Shaping into what it then became, so a CIC. And then I remember that process of you doing your handover to the person at Integrity.
Indeed.
Oh my God,
I know.
Crazy flashbacks.
I know, incredible.
That feels like a lifetime.
I know. And Stuart Hill, of course, ex-IBM, got me involved in Business and Enterprise, and that's where I met you back in 2016. 10 years this year.
That's crazy.
I know. So no, and with the greatest respect, and I do mean it, to IBM, Virtue Stream and Integrity, the 7 years at Shaping Portsmouth has been the best years of my life in terms of my professional life. You know, what we did, and it will always be a we, you know, what we did together, you know, is amazing. And I'm so proud that it's going on. I mean, I remember you...
crazy.
Good crazy. But you walked into me in, 2017 and said, I've got an idea for an apprenticeship focus.
Because I've been working with Shaping for a couple of years when I first graduated from uni in 2012. But it was before Stef, and it was before it was a CIC, and I would literally just go into the meeting and just note take for Stuart. Because I was like, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and I don't know anyone. And then I remember meeting you over at not that lakeside, the IBM lakeside. And I remember sitting at reception waiting for Stef, but I didn't know it was a man. And I pictured a woman, and then you started walking towards me, and I was like, oh, hi.
I know.
And it's just magical. So just going back before we go into all the Shaping stuff, which I do want to talk to you about, because it's something that is just, as you say, one of the most phenomenal parts of your career. And I think we then as a city got to experience, Stef, not just IBM, not just Integrity, not just the corporate world, but so many different characters and people from all different backgrounds then got to suck all of your energy and take all of that knowledge. But when you said you moved to Pompey when you were 19, so what brought that change? Was it, of course, IBM?
I've had a couple of brilliant bits of luck in my life, and you know, and it is lucky. So IBM, I was working for the headquarters of IBM in Chiswick, you know, a building, and being part of the headquarters team. Those days I was I'd moved from post room and print room. I'd moved kind of up a notch, hence the lunch vouchers. And we got called into the big meeting room and said, look, you guys are all in HQ. You're all in the admin sort of sector. We're moving to Cosham in Hampshire.
Wow.
And I went, I'm 18, right? Been here 2 and a bit years. I've got my girlfriend. I've got my football club.
Really close to your dad.
Really close to my father. You know, where's a Cosham? So, and of course,
I'm surprised it was even on the map then.
Well, what map? It wasn't Google Maps in those days.
Wow.
So you got out the Ordnance Survey. And Maureen from the telephone exchange next door to us, where I was sitting in my office with the others, she came to say, Stef, have you any idea? Have you any idea what size of company you're working for? And I went, no, I've worked on the second floor of Chiswick building.
Like you were quite insular, bubbles,
indeed,
kind of thing.
And she explained to me the American ownership, the billions of dollars it turns over, the computers it makes.
Right.
And I went home and said to my dad,
I'm going to Cosham.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it wasn't for Maureen.
So it was like those light bulb moments of
Yeah.
like, actually, this is a real lifetime opportunity,
Yeah.
not just something to like earn a bit of pocket money or like
Yeah.
bide my time
This,
until
yeah.
something better comes along.
Exactly. This
It
was
was a
life
really big
changing.
deal.
Seriously, it was a 20-minute conversation. Why she took a shine to me, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't post my, you know, my personal circumstances around the place.
Yeah.
I was just a young 18-year-old
Yeah.
cocky little,
Yeah.
you know, guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. But she obviously just took me under her wing for 20, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's life changing
Wow.
because the rest, as they say,
It's
is history.
And then when you moved to
Yeah.
Portsmouth, then did you move with fellow colleagues from IBM? Did you like rent a room? Like, what? How did that
In
look?
my department, I was the only one that moved.
Oh wow.
So the other 7 or 8 decided to leave
Yeah.
and get jobs elsewhere. So I came down, got a bed sit in the retreat in Southsea.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone at all. Started work at IBM Cosham on that Monday morning.
Yeah.
And so I thought the only way of getting to know people was get a pub job in the evenings.
Wow.
So there was a pub round the corner called the Cambridge,
Yeah.
no longer there, near where Debenhams and Knight and Lee's were. And I got a job there Friday, Saturday and Sunday, started to meet people across the
Yeah.
bar,
God,
joined
so
a couple of football
wise
clubs.
and so brave.
Yeah,
Like it's just
at 18, yeah,
it's not what you
18 and a
know, it's
half.
who you know, right? You
Exactly.
just-
And I joined a couple of football clubs, therefore started training on a Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and then met my first wife, Sue, quite
Yeah.
quickly, and obviously got married 18 months later.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it all just...
And did you go back home regularly?
in those days, yeah, honestly...
Were there trains?
Listen, you're going to laugh about this, but it's true, right? I mean, still didn't have a lot of money. Dad didn't have money, so it was expensive to go home.
Yeah.
On a Friday at 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
IBM Cosham
Yeah.
used to get all of the post that was going to any London location. A van came to collect it, and there were 2 spare seats in the van.
Oh, don't. That's so cute.
So you could actually quickly put your name down for one of the 2 seats.
Oh, and they didn't charge you?
No,
Oh.
and they drop you at IBM Chiswick building when it was delivering that bit of post, and I then used to walk home.
That's amazing. That's
and then
so cool.
get the coach back on the Sunday night.
Did you do that quite regularly? Or just
About
whenever
once a
you
month,
could?
yeah.
That's so cool.
I know, it's nuts. I mean, that's
so
just, you say that
cool.
story now in 2026.
Yeah, like, it's like you just imagine like jumping into a van with an Amazon driver kind of thing. Like, imagine if that. Do you know what? Maybe that is where we need to go.
Yeah.
Because these Amazon drivers and every delivery drivers, they've always got 2
spare
or 3 seats.
I know, exactly. Well, that's what I did in 1974 to 76.
Oh, I love that.
I know, amazing.
And at what point in your career did you or someone else realise that you had leadership qualities?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, as I said, I gained experience and I gained confidence. Although my first marriage ended through my decision, I was still building that confidence and whatever. So I used to volunteer. So IBM Finance used to take on a lot of people every year because people came and people went. And they used to do an induction course for the new finance people, graduates or experienced. And it was about an hour's presentation and it covered all of the finance departments. And I said, I'll do it. Yeah. So I literally ran the induction, that bit, the induction thing, which gave me that public speaking bit. Yeah. And I just went kind of on from there. I don't know, something in me says there's an opportunity. Take it. Yeah. And you know.
It's a bit like I know that Leah, who's as always sat lovingly over there
behind the camera,
and I know her dad hates me saying this, but it's one of my favourite sayings, is the Richard Branson one. Just say yes and then figure it out. Like, say yes and then learn how to do it, you know. And I know not everyone is a fan of that, but I like that.
Well, we're going to touch on shaping probably in a bit, and I remember when I was handing over to Dave Humphreys a couple of years ago, and Dave, really good selection of successor, had obviously studied me quite a bit. He'd found every YouTube clip or you know, podcast or whatever, and he said the overriding thing, Steph, you keep saying you hate to say no. Yeah. I said, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to help. We'll find a way.
Yeah, and how do you choose? Like, how do you choose between the people, and how do you prioritise?
Yeah, I think it starts with really when you genuinely listen to someone. Don't get me wrong. We've had people join Shaping and paid their money, and then said, "Oh, can I have your customer list?" Like, I'm not that wet behind my ears.
Yeah.
So we've had the
little black
chances.
book comes with time and
Absolutely,
patience.
exactly.
And
But no, I genuinely listen very hard to people, and then say, how can we do it?
yeah,
Not why we can't do it.
yeah,
And it's a bit like, again, it keeps going back to my dad. We'll find a way.
yeah.
Boys will be okay.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's probably always, oh, that just made my belly go funny. It's like in your head, but also in your heart,
Yeah.
like constantly.
Yeah.
It makes everything make so much sense.
Well, it does, because, and then what you do is you go and talk to the people. It's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, or it's a bit like a netball team or a football team. I can defend the goal, but I can't score the nets or the goals. So I tell you what, I go and find someone who can
figure it out.
Yeah, and then convince them to come and help. Not, in any, gun held to the head way.
Yeah, but just if you
yeah.
want to, then let's make it happen. And I know that when both of us were part of Shaping before it became the powerhouse that it is, it was very much just people sat around tables having meetings about meetings. And I remember that's one of the things that you and I bonded over so quickly, because we both hated meetings about meetings.
What have we done?
Yeah. What that initial switch of when you were like, right, this is what we need to do. And I remember you coming to me and telling me, I'm going to register as a CIC. But back then, I don't know where that idea came from.
I'll be honest with you. I won't name names and that, but they're easy to work out. When I took over in January 2017, after 3 months kind of handover, we had 14 partners who were contributing £48,000 a year.
Yeah.
And my first two meetings, the two partners who donated 10,000 of that, 5 each, said, we're not renewing because what are you doing?
We don't get it.
We don't get it. So for 3 months, I used my IBM pension to pay the salaries of the other two staff.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you think, fight or flight.
Yeah.
And you know me.
Yeah. Fight.
Absolutely. So I then set about, what are we doing? We had 18 so-called work streams. I asked the 18 work stream leaders to come to a meeting. And I asked for the minutes of the meetings. One of my staff looked at me sheepishly and said, okay. And some of them hadn't met for a year.
Yeah.
So how can I go to a patron and say, thank you for your £5,000. This is what we've done. So I've decided to stop, restart, transform, reset, get some values. And that the mission statement, the vision, the work stream became programs. Business, education, community became the pillars.
And when I think about when people have said to me, oh, you've gone from working corporate to setting up a CIC, and I've said to people so many times, but I've watched it happen. Like I remember when you first created a formal presentation to convince people to come on board with Shaping, and you would talk about the structures of like gold, silver, bronze type thing, and like how much, and then when you could finally pay yourself a salary, my good golly gosh,
I know,
like all
Happy
of
days.
those things. So when I've started with Politely and I've started going through what needs to be done and laying out the land and then getting on with it, it was just because I'd watched you do it, and the excitement, like when you got sponsors on board, you'd be like, oh, guess what? They've agreed. And like, it's just phenomenal. And it just literally went from what we said, like meetings about meetings, to just something that is just, I mean, if you don't know what Shaping Portsmouth is, then are you even living in Portsmouth?
Exactly.
It's your legacy, isn't it?
Well, and I'm very proud of what we have done for that legacy. It's not just my legacy, it's our legacy. And Sam McGrath's included in that, Stuart Brown, yourself, lots of others.
I saw the apprenticeship bus Simon Ingram posted on LinkedIn this morning. They've just released the images of like the newly wrapped bus. And it's just
amazing.
Insane of where that's gone
That
to.
was your idea 9 years ago. But come back to the point about shaping and about the PowerPoint presentation. You can be the best presenter, salesman in the world, or salesperson in the world. Data. What have you done? What have you achieved? So it was about, we've helped 21 businesses with mentors this year. We've helped this number of students with apprenticeships this year. We've done this with we've seen 11 homeless people and we've got them on a training course. You know, just some of the amazing things we did. Put it on the chart, it will speak for itself.
Yeah.
And that's what I found over the 7 years. You know, I mean, 12 partners, we ended with 71.
That's madness. Absolutely.
£248,000 a year turnover.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. And when you look at the conference now, to what the conference was back then, I remember the first time I fell in love with Donna Jones actually was when she spoke at, I think it was maybe 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, 2018, you're right,
And she was the first ever female leader of Portsmouth City Council. Just take the politics colours outside of it.
Yeah.
I just remember watching her and being like, oh, wow. Oh, so we can. No matter what gender, no matter what colour, like you can do this.
And I've always believed, particularly because of my background, you know, as I said, there's so many examples of my father, you know, that I could use. And, you know, his lack of English language was another one. And I'll always remember, you know, he said to me, I learned 5 languages in my life. And, you know, it's limiting because you know, he didn't say it in this way. He said, I can't understand your language, English. And I said, give me an example. And my brother and I tried to do things in the house to help him. So he was used to peel potatoes and make the mashed potato. So then we found Cadbury Smash in tins, you know, whatever. And he used to cut himself with his cutthroat razor on whatever. So we found this Gillette Foamy he could put on it to shave. But it said on the top, shake well before use.
Right.
So Dad used to say to me, it's not working. It comes out as a thin liquid. And I said, no, it doesn't, Dad. And so I shook it well before I used it.
Yeah.
But he shook it well before he used it. He shook it an hour before he used it.
Oh.
Shake well before use.
Oh.
Shake well before you use it.
The intonation.
Yeah.
You put the intonation on. Oh my good golly gosh. Oh bless him.
I know. So he, you know, I mean, again, he so struggled and you know, and I think, well, you know, there's a problem and we'll find a solution for it, you know, and explaining it and communicating. And that's why whether you're a male, female, young, old, you are not limited by where you've come from.
No.
You're only limited by your own, you know, horizon that you choose to build.
Your perception of or how you choose to perceive things.
Absolutely. I mean,
but that also almost like maybe in your your subconscious, or maybe it is in the forefront of your brain of just why you've always had this very direct manner of approaching conversations and presentations. It's never ever come across as brash or irrational. It's in this way where you genuinely want everyone to be able to understand, and so that makes so much sense.
Well, thank you.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, indeed, and I, you know, and that's why you take all the learnings, don't you?
Yeah,
and whatever. But the other thing is, the one word I think also sums me up is passionate.
Yeah. Oh God,
you know, I mean, I'm passionate about the things that I choose, and you know, I'm passionate about my family, my wife, my football club, my friends. You know, I hurt when they hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
but you also choose your circles, I think, based on that. Like, you know, I remember up-team conversations where you may have had a meeting with somebody about something, maybe a pillar of shaping or whatever. Yeah. But if you couldn't smell the passion, you weren't interested, and you'd find the nicest, politest way of being like, thanks, but no thanks. But somebody could come along and be the most qualified, richest patriot in the world. But if there was no passion underneath that, you weren't ever going to be friends.
No.
You know?
No, absolutely.
What do you miss most about shaping and having now handed over that hat for a couple of years
now? The people. Seriously, the people. As I said to you, I'm so proud of what we built over those years. And we all played a part. You know, I may have had the title of boss or director or whatever it might be. We all played a part. And my oldest daughter, Natalie, she lives in Bitton near Southampton. During my time at Shaping, she kept saying to me, Dad, why can't you come here?
Do it in Southampton.
And I said, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Pompey loves Pompey.
Yeah.
You know, we stick together and it's so hard. And all I really did was I tapped into that passion. I tapped into that.
And just formalised it.
And structured it and maybe gave it a bit of a vision.
Yeah.
But then I had some amazing people, present company included, around me. You know, and whatever. I'll always remember Sam McGrath. Absolutely amazing. One of the homeless people was a forklift truck driver.
Yeah.
But he let his certificates lapse.
Yeah.
And he got into bad habits, drink and drugs, whatever. So and it's £2,000 to renew your certificates. So Sam called a local company and said, "Can you help?" And they said, "Well, how can you help me?"
Yeah.
So they said, "If you can get me maybe a big splash in the evening news, Portsmouth News, I'll do the in-kind
Scratch my
bit."
back, I'll
So
scratch yours,
Sam
kind of
rang
thing.
Mark Waldron. Mark said yes.
Yeah.
They got the coverage in the news. This guy got his 2-day course free.
Wow.
He passed his 2-day course. He got a job and he got a flat. And it's all because we put people together.
Yeah. And I think it's that keeping at the heart of everything that you do is it's a community interest company.
Yeah.
And so it relies on community for the community.
First two words are
right?
important there. Community and interest.
Yeah.
Forget the company bit.
Hello.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. And if you kind of try and keep that in mind all the time, you won't miss out on opportunities, but also the service users, the people that you're trying to help, they won't miss out either.
No, exactly. And I know I find it's difficult to say, but if you look at my paper qualifications and look at my paper history, I'm a basket case. But actually, I've been anything but a basket case, because you listen, you learn, and you work hard. And even that, sometimes you don't get a break. So just keep going, keep going, and keep going. And as I said, believe in yourself.
100%.
And just if you can't find, Susie Horton, one of the councillors at Portsmouth City Council, said to me about careers once. She said, think of a corridor with doors off of it. Open one, go in. Doesn't work for you, come back out, walk down the corridor, open the next one.
You don't have to lock yourself in.
And it's such a great vision.
Susie's she's dreamy.
Well, see, again, you talk about inspirational people like yourself. Susie is inspirational.
She is.
There's so many people who inspire you, and lots of people do. And you've inspired me many times. About
podcast about you, darling.
Yeah, I know, but seriously, you take inspiration from people.
Definitely. And vice versa. I mean, you know this, and people closest to us know that, the politely rebellious next gen CIC has come about because I've watched a powerhouse do it. And, people have said to me so many times, what do you mean you're spending the last of your savings on this? What do you mean you're moving from the corporate world? I mean what I mean. I mean what I mean, and I'll figure it out and we'll make it happen. And it's, it is tough the first year or two, because you are looked at almost as a bit of a crazy person, right? You're like going about, and you're a visionary, right? And so we can see what we're trying to create, and it takes other people longer to see it in real life, but you get there in the end. Now, you, since handing over the reins of Shaping, have not slowed down, mister. You said you would. And I'm sure that you have, and you do have a better work-life balance, and I'm sure you're spending more time with Liz.
I am.
But please do give us a little rundown of the most magical things that you continue to do for our community.
Thank you. Well, again, I'm here to serve. I genuinely mean that. You know me, I'm here to serve. So in terms of, if I talk about family first, we've got a lovely lady called Auntie Jill. She's 91 this year. She's the closest thing to blood relative. And her husband died 3 years ago when he was 91. And she and John have two less able sons who are now 63 and 61. And John used to do all their accounts for them and look after them. And the best thing they ever did was 30 years ago, buy a little terraced house in Southsea and put Ian and Jamie into it so they could fend for themselves one day. So I took over, looking after the two boys, as I call them. And I now do the house utilities for them. I look after their finances and all the admin stuff. And, they are amazing. And I'll go and tell them they're spending too much on shopping, so they'll pull back a bit. So my gift to them is my ability to manage and whatever. And they respond amazingly, and I love them to bits.
I love as well, actually, that if, and I've noticed this since the last couple of years, like to book in your diary, or if you're trying to book in a meeting, you will actually say, oh no, I've got something to do with the boys there, and you block it out so as to make sure that the world doesn't run away with you.
Correct.
And you're very committed.
They're important to me. It gives Jill the satisfaction at 91, nearly 91, that that her boys will be looked after when she's no longer here. And I love them like brothers. Honestly, I do. Whatever. And then if you come into my citizens advice work, November this year will mark my 9th year as chair. I have to leave because the Charity Commission won't allow you to stay beyond 9.
Wow.
And therefore, I will end my relationship with Citizens Advice in November. It's the greatest volunteering role I've had, I think, you know, in that sense. So we're doing a lot there. And then, of course, you know, we've got the Pomodzi, Inspirational Women's Group, where I'm the finance non-exec director as a volunteer.
And I know that that kind of official job title has been relatively new, right? But you've been working with Ronnie and Pomodzi for donkeys, haven't
I've been Ronnie's you know, mentor for about 8 years. A bit like you, she walked into me one day and said, "You know what? I've got an idea." Well, hang on a minute, because she is Stuart in disguise.
Real life,
So I'm helping her do the finances and the budgeting and stuff like that. And then I've got my paid roles, which is 2 days a month with Fairways, where we're trying to do 2 things. We have 440 children in foster homes in the city right now, and they're in 190 houses or homes. So that's more than 2.3 kids per home. So what I'm trying to do is get businesses, as you have done, to sign the foster friendly charter, which does 2 things. If you've got a foster parent that's working for you, please can you just maybe be a bit flexible if they need time off to attend court? Yeah, exactly. But the foster process might take them away from work for a few hours more than others. So can you please support that? And secondly, would you allow us to come in from time to time and just talk about being a foster parent? I didn't realise that you could be a foster parent 1 weekend a month.
So respite.
Exactly. You know, you could literally just take, you know, you could look after a child for Saturday and Sunday while their foster parents had a weekend in Bath or Wales or wherever. So foster friendly program is what I'm doing. But the second thing is we're aiming to open a pathway near the Hillsey Lido where we have 6 or 8 wooden statues of people who have been in the care system and have become known.
Oh, wow.
And it's called the Fairways Phoenix Project. Phoenix rising from the ashes.
That's so powerful.
And so we'll have a big phoenix on the Hillsey roadside by the where the buses pull in, and then it leads you into a pathway near the Lido of these 6 or 8 wooden characters. And that's the Fairways Phoenix Project.
That's incredible.
So I'm doing that, and then just before I left Shaping, Portsmouth Water approached me.
Oh, do you know what? I'm part of that, and my brain didn't even register that was coming.
Indeed. So as you know, every water company in England and Wales has to have an oversight group, and you play your part brilliantly in that. But every oversight group, you know, need a chair, which is the conduit between the company and the challenge group, as it's called. So I'm the chair of the independent challenge group for Portsmouth Water. You know the value you've already brought because their customer comms, you know, is a little bit, you know, sort of needing in polishing. And you and Terence particularly have been brilliant in helping them in a voluntary way, you know, kind of get better.
And do you know what I love about seeing you in that role, actually? Because yes, okay, me and Terence and the others are doing our bit, but you are the powerhouse behind us. And what I love is it's such a beautiful combination of your corporate experience and your community experience coming together. And just the way I've always just loved the way you are a chameleon, right? The way that you will talk a certain way for this purpose, talk a slightly different way for this purpose, and it's just absolutely magical. So what will the next 5 years hold for Stef?
So
a little bit of all of that.
My support to Jill and Ian and Jamie will continue forever. You know, I will stand down as chair of trustees at Citizens Advice at the end of 2026. With Pomodzi and Ronnie, I will support her for, you know, as long as she needs me to, but hopefully a couple of years, and then gradually I will finish my contracts at Fairways and at Portsmouth Water. And at the moment I try and work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Liz and I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday together. We're gifted with the lovely friends and family, as you know. Look, I am the luckiest guy in the world. Seriously, I have my health at the moment. I have my wife. I have my family. I have my friends. I have fantastic volunteer and paid roles. You know, And
you are the epitome of awesomeness for sure. If you
don't know
had
that.
one bit of advice for the next generation, what would that be?
It's, you know what, I'm quite a big sports fan, as you know.
Mm,
One of the sports I love is is Formula One, and I'm a big Lewis Hamilton fan.
oh yeah, I love Lewis
Yeah, and
Hamilton.
when Lewis won his 7th world title a
Mm,
few years ago, he said, "This is to all the boys and girls out there: never give up on your dream."
yeah,
And it's such a powerful statement.
yeah.
You know, if you talk to this, kind of, I remember my English teacher in junior school, Miss
Mm,
Howard, came up, said, "I need to come home and see your father."
mm,
And I was what, 9 years of age, 10
mm,
maybe. I went, "Oh no, what have I done now?" And so she came after school one day to
mm.
see my dad, and she said to my dad, "Would you please stop talking to Stef in Polish because he's struggling to keep up in class
In English.
in
Oh
English."
wow.
So dad immediately
Mm,
just try his best to do it,
wow.
and therefore I did have a difficult start,
Mm,
better than a lot,
mm,
worse than some,
yeah,
but I've never ever ever given up,
yeah.
even when people have been disloyal to me.
Mm,
There's 99 others who haven't,
yeah.
so let's not,
Let's focus on the 99, not
and
the
not the
one.
one,
Yeah, yeah,
and just try,
yeah,
just work hard, try,
yeah,
and respect,
yeah,
love,
yeah.
passion,
Be
care.
real. Just be real.
Yeah,
Keep it real.
yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I love that. Right, we're gonna take it down a notch for the final part and
Yeah.
ask you some quick fire questions.
Okay.
No right or wrong answers, of course. But actually, no, before we do that, one last question. What would you say is the most politely rebellious thing you've ever done?
Oh my God, the most polite rebellious thing I've done. That's a great question, actually.
Mm,
Gosh, the most politely rebellious thing I've done. I I think probably
mm.
gone against my dad's wishes and moved to Portsmouth.
Move to Cosham.
Yeah,
Good old Cosham and
yeah,
Southsea. Yeah.
yeah,
No,
indeed.
well
Yeah,
done. And
yeah,
sorry, Dad.
yeah, indeed.
But
Sorry,
we're so,
Joseph.
so, so, so grateful. So, so grateful that you
Yeah.
made that decision and
Mm,
just so brave at such
mm,
a young age.
mm.
So, quick fire pizza or pie?
Oh, pie.
Yeah. What's your go to like?
Steak and ale
Oh,
mash.
yeah,
Yeah,
gotta be.
yeah,
Cheesy mash or just mash?
mash. Yeah,
Yeah. Walk it or bike it? I know what this one's going to be.
bike it.
Yeah, of course. Do you still go out bike it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Southsea or Hailing as far as beaches?
Oh, Southsea.
Isn't it looking
Yeah, it's
amazing? The
incredible. I
changes.
tell it, it's going to be, when it's all done, it's going to be
Tourist
amazing.
attraction of the
I know,
south for
exactly.
sure.
Just need a transport system to get us in and out of the city
That
now.
would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe a nice big
Yeah.
car park somewhere.
Indeed, yeah.
Apples or oranges?
Apples.
What apples you'll go to?
Oh, anything,
Yeah.
anything. Not the green ones,
No,
the
it's
red
got to be
ones.
red.
Yeah,
Work from home or work from an office?
either.
Yeah,
Both give you the adrenaline,
yeah,
and I'm productive in both.
yeah.
I think I probably err to office because it means I'm in touch with
Humans.
humans.
Love it. Wow, Steph, honestly, you are the man, the myth, the absolute legend. You are, and there are so many people, myself included, who are just so grateful that you came to Portsmouth, but then you chose to make Portsmouth your home. And I think you've given back more to this city than many that have come before you. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. But my
Thank
strap
you.
line, I
Mm.
was born in London.
Made in Pompey.
Indeed. Thank you.